I don't think Mark Gastineau is wrong. I do believe that Brett Favre and Michael Strahan had something behind something. Anybody that knows Mark Gastineau and Brett Favre, they never liked each other. Never liked each other. They've attacked each other in many different ways when they were players. And remember, Gastineau was done, and Brett Favre came into the league. When Brett Favre came into the league and he had his one full season, Mark Gastineau said he was overrated. So these guys have been back and forth all the time. And now even with social media has opened up now for many different avenues for these guys to speak. Gastineau can't stand Brett Favre, and Brett Favre can't stand Gastineau. I believe that Brett Favre fell down purposely to screw Mark Gastineau. I absolutely believe it.
It's interesting because sacks are one of those stats that definitely could be misleading based on who that. If you
look at that,
look at the replay of it, yeah, he's definitely sliding. Now, again, there's probably instances if you look at a game log season by season of each sacks being like that. So again, we'll never know fully. Like sacks were recorded back then when Gastineau was there, or it was like the first couple years of it. So maybe there were instances like that too where quarterbacks did that. I don't know, but again, the pettiness is definitely there because yeah, he does look like he's sliding for sure. And
come on, dude, like yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like yeah, and if the game was really over, like why isn't Favre out of the game at that point?
And here's the thing, Michael Strahan's on the other side, and he's really the big bopper over there. Why do you run to that side?
Sure. And
okay. Come on.
Yeah, the only thing that I would go against Gastineau's argument is maybe there was somebody that did it to him. We just don't have the video footage for that kind of thing because nobody cared at that point because sacks weren't a big deal the same way they are now. And obviously the media is going to be there to drive that kind of record.
And this has nothing to do with me being a Jet fan, okay? Nothing.
But yeah, the pettiness is there. And like you said, the rivalry is there. So, of course, Gastineau is going to bring it up in this way, and Favre is going to be Favre because he's crazy.
Well, yeah, and that too, he probably was like, "Hey, if we're going to do this, just don't rub your dick on my face," as Strahan did in that video.
Tell Brett Favre that he might do other things with those.
He's got to put a watch on first. He's got to put a watch on first.
Oh man, I remember.
But I don't know what to think about this.
Oh God.
But
only Brett Favre, only him. Only him. What a weirdo.
And the thing about it is, and I talked about it too, and it's like, I mean, there's been like parts of it, but do you think like was there? And call me out if I'm wrong because I don't know this. Was there ever like a video clip of this before?
No, because they wouldn't have that footage because it's being used for the trailer right now for the
right, and that was my point. So Owen and I were talking. It's like they knew that this would create controversy in the way that they released it because this is coming out on Friday.
Yeah.
So they held on to it, knowing the fact that it's going to have shows like ours, and morning shows and afternoon shows that are going to talk about it, where they're like, "Damn, I didn't know that." So they're going to be like, "Oh, Friday at 7." Here it is. So I think there's a little bit of play on it. Truth be told, the way it looks is fishy. No pun intended. Sorry. But I just think you held on to it knowing what you were going to create. And then you timed it to where you get us to talk about it and a lot of other people to talk about it via social media, via shows, via podcasts, via whatever the case may be. So that's kind of where I'm like, it just is it great timing or just coincidental. Coincidental my ass. Like this was very, very premeditated. It was coming out when it should have, because this is the reason we fall into these traps, is because we are covering it and everybody's going to be like, well, yep, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but I want to see what they have to say about it. And it's like they've gone back on social media and it makes you want to like watch it more. But don't worry, I got Nebraska volleyball and basketball. This is the latest drop in. The latest drop in.
Don't tell Brett Favre about volleyball. He loves those Southern Miss volleyball players too.
Yeah, he does. He likes to look at anything young.
I love the Nebraska volleyball players.
Yeah, unfortunately, including the money in that program.
No question.
I mean, leave it to a Jets player to start whining about something, right?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
So, I mean, to me, it's like Java said, it's just to get stirred up for the show, to get people to watch, to tune in. There's probably been other instances where guys take a fall or do something to get give a guy a record that they deserve probably. Like, who cares if he did it? It was so long ago, and now you're just bringing it up. It's like,
He's been
let it
saying
go.
it forever. He's been saying it
But
forever.
I mean, like, but even his teammates are like, he's the most selfish
Dude, he's
player.
losing his mind. Mark
Like-
Gastineau is losing his mind. And the first thing that
Says-
pops in his mouth, that effing Brett Favre. I'm telling you, he's going to say that on his deathbed.
Right.
I could see him sitting on his deathbed.
Well,
I want to kill that son of a bitch.
How do you explain what he's doing here, though, Owen? Like, this is clearly he's doing a fake handoff to the left so he can do like not even a bootleg. That's not a bootleg. He's just turning around.
And
Like,
by the way,
he
that
called
wasn't
a run.
That wasn't a fake handoff, really.
Yeah.
well,
I
no,
mean,
he-
it was a stage. It was definitely
I
staged.
mean,
Weren't him
you
and
went-
Strahan friends?
Yes, and
what
he
he
hated
was trying,
Gastineau.
what it looked like to me, if you watch the offensive line, that's run blocking. In 2002, there was no such thing as an RPO because Favre hadn't invented it yet, by the way. He does this a few years later. So the fact that they're run blocking means is the only thing that could have been called is a run or a play action. Now, he didn't set up protection for a play action unless it was a naked bootleg, but he doesn't take off like a naked bootleg. He takes off a lot slower than that. Even if he does, if he called a naked bootleg when the game is out of hand, he's only doing it because this gives Strahan a chance to give him a sack. And he probably thought in his head, if Strahan's dumb enough to just go for the running back because it's the end of the game and we're probably handing it off, then I will just run outside and maybe I'll throw a fucking drag. And that's all he was going to do. But he said this play is probably a gimme for Strahan. And this is why he called it. And that's the rumor. You keep hearing it that Favre called a run, on this play. And it's hard to argue that's not what he did if you look at the film a little bit there. But that aside, love Michael Strahan. Love that he's the sack record holder.
Of course you do.
Love what he did for
Allegedly,
the
though,
Giants.
There's new data with the other stats too, though, that maybe Deacon Jones had a better season than that, a 26 sack season with the sack.
Well, Deacon Jones was slapping like people's helmets off while he was getting by them back then when there were no rules about what he could do, which is just fantastic. If you ever watch highlights of Deacon, I got to get some Deacon Jones highlights. He was a savage